Hi, today I'm going to show you how to put together the train box card. What I like to do is piece together a lot of my little items first, if possible. So here I'm just piecing together the wheels, and for this particular one you only have to put glue on the outside of that front panel, and then carefully line it up so that inner circle of that front panel matches up to the inner circle of the back panel. That just gives it a little edge, like a metal edge of a train. I did it with red and gold, but it might be fun with black wheels with a silver background. It just gives it a little extra detail to it. And then I pieced the roof panel onto the back train piece. And the reason I do this, we'll want to put that on before we assemble the card. Just the way that just has to do with the shape. And I'm just showing you, usually I do edit out little mistakes, but they happen, and there's ways to fix it. So I just thought I'd show you. I always have a wet rag just to clean up my extra glue, and I inked it a little bit or chalked it just to hide that excess glue. And this is just putting the back lights together. I did end up adding some rhinestones at the very end to the top of these just to give it a little bit of a dimension and bling. And then for this, I wanted to add the front grille, which is, I guess it's called a cattle guard or something like that. Anyways, I looked up the official name, but that front piece to the card, so you don't have to do it when it's assembled. You could put other panels too. I just chose the ones that I selected to put on first. And then I'm going to show you how to put the card together and fold it. So just showing you how it's folded to get ready. Then we'll glue on this back panel that we placed that little roof piece on. And we want to match up that the window opening on the back. Make sure it's aligned with the top and the opening. It just makes it easier to assemble the card in a way, and it makes it easier to put it on now than later. At least for me it was. And then we'll go ahead and add glue to that side tab on that back piece, which is really the side of the card, and just make sure it's aligned. The bottom edge is aligned, as well as the left edge is aligned with the tab fold. Then we just kind of apply pressure here, and I can flip over and apply pressure against the table. Then we'll repeat the same thing on the other side with the actual back part of the card. So you're going to add glue to that other tab. Then I'll line up the edge of that back piece of the card to the tab fold and apply pressure to secure it. You know, I do it from the front. Usually I apply additional pressure by folding it over or flipping it over and applying more pressure. Now you can see how it's come together. So if you just fold that back piece where we just glued it, it'll align pretty perfectly with the last tab. So you want to add glue to that last tab. Make sure the front portion is aligned properly. Then just apply pressure to secure it. Always using my wet paper towel to get that excess glue off. Or your finger, it's up to you. I just have a wet towel just to wipe things off. There it is. Then we'll add some of the front elements to the train. First part is the top window panel piece. So I'm just adding the little window frame. And then we'll attach it to the top area, just matching up those window openings to the window openings on the actual card. Just be careful with the glue. You don't want it to leak back to the back of the card. Put a little bit too much on there, but that's why I spread it out with my fingertips. One thing I try to do is keep glue off my fingertips when I'm working. Leaves a little residual with the glues that I use. And I didn't shape it exactly like that top piece. I just didn't want that green to show through, as that top piece could, the paper underneath could show through. I'd rather have the black or the background color show through. Rambling. So just put that roof piece on. It just fits right on there. Then I did emboss the front panel. The information for that particular embossing folder is below in the notes. And go ahead and I used tacky glue on this, Aleene's tacky glue, because it allows me a little bit more movement in the Scotch quick dry if I don't put it on exactly right. You just have to be careful how much you use on different kind of papers. Then now we'll glue on those pieced wheels, and you have to glue a little bit on all of them to attach it, and just line it up to the areas on the card. And I'm just showing you on another card that you can add something to the center, like a perler bead or a rhinestone. That will give it a little bit more dimension. I didn't add a little paper piece because I thought it would be more interesting with that little piece. And most of us have all that extra stuff anyways, but you could put a little circle there too. That's easy enough to cut on any cutting software. And there the wheels are on. Next we're going to add the front pieces. So I added a little foam tape to that front piece. You can just kind of line it up to that top edge. And then glue on that next little piece on top. And then that front area. Again, I put a little, I think, enamel dot at the end. I've done a couple of these cards. But for this last piece, you can also put something dimensional like a rhinestone or enamel dot, something like that. Just fun. And there it is. Next, we'll add the elements to the insert portion of the train. So right here, we're adding the bell. And so you want to center it on that black area so it has a little border around the edge. And for the chimney portion, you could do the top first, but it doesn't matter. It fits right into the areas. It doesn't have a border or anything around it. I added that top piece. That bottom piece is optional. Of course, it's already black, but you could add an embossing folder. Use an embossing folder to give it a little texture. Then add that top piece. And then we'll fold back the tabs to get ready to insert it into the card. So first I'd start with the left side, and this is going to help with the placement of the insert. We're going to place it right below the top edge, the side tabs, so it's not visible from the front. So we need to do that side first so we can place it across from that for the second tab. The end of the tab should be flush with the back of the card. And then we'll add the other side. I fumbled around a little bit here, but you can, what's really handy with this is that you have that back window, and you can add glue through that back window for that second tab. Just try to put it across, making it horizontal. Might take a second to get in. That's with all box cards. Sometimes it's hard to get the tab inserts in there. Again, making that tab end flush with the back of the card, so the insert's sitting right in the middle. If you do get a little excess glue, you can go ahead and wipe it up. Then after adding the insert, it is best to flatten it just to make sure it's sitting right. I didn't show that step. So now we'll add the panel, the back panel, the message panel, and the wheels. You see it folds flat fine both ways. Now we'll add that back bumper. You can have it just hanging down just a smidgen. I put a little bit too much glue on it. Meant to only put glue on the top part. That's why you see me getting it out. And then what I'm showing you is for this, I had a pop dots, but I had ran out of the pop dots, but I can still use pieces of it to pop up small elements. So don't throw that away. Just a little tip, putting those backlights on. So that completes the card, other than if you want to add a little your own sentiment to the front or add 3D dimensional elements like the rhinestones. I hope you enjoyed making this project, and thanks for watching.